Hello, I'm Beth the Builder, and this week's Honest Guide to Home Repair is painting railings. So, I was just here last week with painting the landing here, and it made me keep looking at this dumb railing that was just installed by crazy people because there's like screws that aren't all the way in, that don't sit flush. There's like gaps of where the railing here sits against this post. It's been stained by like crazy people because there's like drips and stuff. Also, all of the trim in my house is white. You can see it here, you can see it over here, it's white. So I don't know what's up with this weird ass red mahogany choice. All right, so I am going to take off all of the pieces here and then either A, spray paint them, or B, just use some semi-gloss good solid white paint that I have and just use a brush. We'll see how tired I get of painting round things because it's a pain in the ass. I did a DIY review that you can check out about sock painting, so I might use that again. We'll see how it goes. So, all right, I'm gonna uninstall all this stuff and then we're gonna get painting and just see how it goes. So I might end up painting this as well on the sides of my stairs because it's just like exposed wood for whatever reason. I don't really know why. But you can see like the edge of the stair and everything like that. This carpet is fine, but then like they just left this all like open, which is weird. Lots of weird choices. Okay, so I have my banister all installed, got it all painted. The key to painting something like this is to do a lot of really light coats. So I probably did like 6 to 8 really light coats within the last 2 days. I wasn't too precious about, you know, any little places I missed, because I knew when I installed it, I was gonna have to do some touch-up painting. So anything that I can now see that I missed while it's installed, I will touch up and do that. I'd like to seal it with something, because obviously the right way to do it would have been to sand the stain off and then paint it, because paint just doesn't stick as well to stain as just raw wood. But I don't care about it. It's not that big of a deal. This looks way better, and it matches all the other trim in my house. Also, you can just buy banisters, railings, trim, all this stuff that comes white, so you don't have to mess around with trying to paint it. I took this all off because I hate painting around like carpet and edges of things. I hate that business. So I figured, because I can see all the screws, I mean, it's pretty roughly installed, I can just yank it out, paint it, and then reinstall it. Because yeah, I just didn't want to mess around trying to paint around friggin' carpet and stuff. That's just annoying. So if you have the opportunity, I think taking something off and painting it is always the better way to go, but obviously that's not the case with lots of things like trim, or if you had like a giant banister with like a bajillion rungs, you wouldn't want to do that. So that's why I took mine off, because it's just way faster. So I struggled a little bit with reinstalling this, because taking something apart is always way easier than putting it back together the way it should be. These two are not equal in their setting on the stairs, so then trying to install this railing on top of them and then getting it to set flush against this guy and the one up there is just like a pain in the ass. So I might mess around with it a little bit more just to see if I can get it to sit a little bit better against these, but also I'm not super worried about it, because it's just a dumb little banister, and I mean, it looks way better now, you know, everything matches. So, but yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. It's always easier to take things apart. The extra added thing that I think is really gonna clean up the banister here is that I used a countersink bit to widen the holes for all the screws, so that they sit inside versus not being flush on the outside and everything. And then I'm gonna fill these with wood putty and then paint over them, so that like it just looks really clean and intentional and like not sloppy and dumb with screw heads, you know, just sitting outside your woodwork and shit. Like, don't be sloppy, that's dumb. And countersink bits are like so stupid simple and cheap and not a big deal. And like stuff like using finishing nails and hiding screw heads is like, it just kind of like gives a project like that finish and that clean look that you can putty over it or use like a wood plug and then paint over it, versus leaving dumb big old screw heads showing and bolts and the heads of nails or whatever showing. It just looks a little bit sloppy and like you didn't know the right thing to use. But you do you, okay? I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. You live your best life and use whatever the screws and nails and stuff that you have. Now, everyone has like specific nails and screws for every single project. Like, I don't. Arguably, for this guy, you wouldn't want to use screws. You'd want to use like 2 big old bolts and bolt it into the stairwell so that you don't have to mess around with like trying to get giant screws into there. You want to get a big bolt, and then you can just cover it with something, and then it's super secure into the frame of the stairs. But they didn't do that, and I'm not gonna mess around with it because I don't have a giant bolt for this. I just don't. So, if you liked this, like it, you know what to do. Share it with someone, subscribe, all the things. So I'm working on new Etsy projects right now, so I should have those on my Etsy shop pretty quickly. You can check that out in the description below, along with all the other places, you know, etc. I have new videos every Friday, and thanks for watching.